everybody. Today we're going to look at my educational media content part 4 by myself, Rami Waqi. I've always considered myself a good student, but I never read a textbook in my life until university. I believe all my knowledge came from listening to my professors. Now I wonder if my knowledge came from doing homework, since I would never study before classes or tests. I studied in a Panamanian high school as well as a Canadian one, and here in Canada they didn't believe in the concept of homework compared to and as exhaustive as in my high school in Panama. Now in university, my concept of homework changed, since we have less formal homework for grades and only a couple big assignments, such as essays and projects, throughout the semester. Now I must put in the time to study to be up to date with my classes, which is in fact homework. So I wanted to see if homework helps students excel, or if the so-called necessary evil was a hoax all along. My original myth states that the more daily homework university students have, the more learning, life skills such as time management and retention of information in the long run. So it's a necessary evil. Some of the defining key terms that we're going to look at through this presentation are homework, university, assignments, tests, challenging, and life skills such as decision making, critical thinking, and problem solving. For the survey format, the survey was answered by 21 university students. Some were already graduates, some were here in Canada at U of T, and some were back home in Panama. I wanted to see if answers would differ depending on the place of study, but this was not the case, as most participants answered similarly and how I expected my findings to be. The survey consisted of 5 questions with answers ranging from yes, no, somewhat, or unsure. For the survey questions, question 1: do you think it is important that professors assign homework? Question 2 was: do you feel there is any correlation between homework and higher grades? Question 3 was: do you feel stressed when having to complete homework? Question 4 was: do you feel homework contributes to your understanding of the material from the course that assigned it? And question 5: do you feel you have a good balance between your personal life and university life? Homework. For the survey findings, we can agree most people do think it is somewhat important to assign homework. Also, most students don't feel there is any correlation between homework and higher grades, which extensive research didn't find any relationship either. I also found out that homework, survey limitation on what the amount of homework is, or if it's daily or not, causes most participants to stress out, but ironically, they also said that they feel it contributes to their learning or understanding of the material. Lastly, most participants feel like they do have a good balance between their personal lives and university life, although this is very relative and depends on what I feel is a well balanced life. If I think 1 hour of school is enough, someone else might feel like 8 hours is a good balance. Some of the project limitations were I had few sources on university level students' homework habits. The survey was also too broad, so we can't completely get into the mind of the participants to know how they are affected by homework and if it develops life skills. And we also don't know what type of homework is most efficient. We get different examples but can't prove which is the right type of homework or if there is a right type of homework for students to excel in university. For the reputable sources, some of the reasons why students should engage in homework: it is encourages practices, opens a bridge of communication between students and professors. It also makes you have deeper thoughts on what you're engaging with, and it develops students' curiosity. On the other hand, some believe homework isn't necessary at all. Some of the reasons for this is being a student is already a full-time job, so assigned homework just adds more work on top of it, and there is no sufficient evidence to prove the relationship between homework and higher marks. Letendre article 2015. The American Psychological Association agrees that we still don't know if homework has anything to do with higher academic achievement, since some people might get overly stressed from a lot of homework. Some people do it as a routine, and they aren't really engaging and learning from what they're doing, and some people might benefit from it. However, they can agree on one point: quality assignments matter. They engaged in a debate on quantity versus quantity, which Galloway found to be a primary stressor for students, while not feeling it supports their learning. Weir, article 2016. Homework should not be assigned if it's not serving a specific purpose, Galloway suggests, not over assigning homework to students since it can become a detrimental factor in their learning. Leah Theater, a PhD professor of psychology, thinks homework can become a problem for kids from poor homes, since they may not have access to a computer, internet connections, or dedicated areas to work. Weir article 2016. Galloway also argued that each subject should have different types of homework, since not all subjects can be learned through traditional homework such as grammar, spelling, or vocabulary. To look into a university level An interesting article written by a Harvard graduate student states that each university course does and should have different types of homeworks depending on the subject. For example, problem sets are assigned for subjects such as math or chemistry. These problem sets consist of a few but challenging questions where if students do get stuck, they can ask questions. This helps with the retaining of information. She also talks about essays, discussion posts, and lots of reading, showcasing how different subjects need different homework styles to learn and retain knowledge, also in Article 2016. Although we don't know what type of homework works best for students to excel or if there's any relationship. For the rephrase myth, I wanted to change the word daily with quality, meaning the more quality, challenging, different types of homework based on subjects university students have, the more learning, life skills such as time management and retention of information. To conclude, even though we can't 100% prove the life skills, time management part of the myth, I believe you do need time management skills in order to accomplish a well balanced life with your university and personal life. If you have a job, a social life, a good university life, and a good personal life, you do have to know how to time manage your time. You do have to have life skills such as time management and decision making and problem solving. So I do believe it you do develop it. We can't prove it's from homework itself, but I still wanted to include it because to do homework you do have to have good time management skills. Here are the references I used, and I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you.